and welcome to the special show Malia Makes an Offer. But is it an offer that bankers cannot refuse? That's the question we are asking in the special show today. Now, in a twist, Vijay Mallya has made a submission to the Supreme Court today, offering to settle half the amount that he owes to lenders of Kingfisher, which is he's offered 4,000 crore rupees out of the over 8,000 crore rupees. Over the next half hour, we'll get you the latest in the Malia as far as Vijay Mallya is concerned, and also two expert voices to really take us through the options that bankers have and what they should be doing at this stage. For that, we have Deepak Narang, the former Executive Director of United Bank of India, as well as Mohan Das Pai from Manipal Global. But first, let me get you a 360-degree perspective from all our reporters who've been tracking this case all day today. And we're really going to start with Arun Nayal from New Delhi. Arun, you were at the Supreme Court today. Take us through the proceedings, the submissions made by Malya's lawyers.
Well, the hearing started with Malya's lawyers putting forward a proposal before the Supreme Court for a settlement in this issue. Now, they wanted this offer to be remained in a sealed cover. They didn't want media to get a hold of this offer. Now, this offer, which we have come to know, is around 4,000 crore rupees that they have offered in 6 months of time. They said that by 30th of September, they would be in a position to pay 4,000 crore rupees for around 9,000 crore rupees that the consortium of 17 banks owe to Malia and his Kingfisher Airlines. Now, they have also said that they are fighting a suit with GE Corp and they are expecting the 2,000 crore from that case as well. They're saying that they can give that amount as well if they win the case in the court. Also, they have said that it's a reasonably good offer. It's a very good offer, in fact, is what the lawyers have told the Supreme Court, and the banks should consider this offer impassionately, irrespective of the media hype that has been given to this case. Now, it remains to be seen whether the banks go into this offer and accept or reject. The court has given them a week's time to deliberate on this proposal that has been put forward by Malia in this case. Also, during the hearing, there was a query by the Supreme Court. They wanted to know whether Malia would be present, would be coming to India to personally have discussions with banks on this settlement proposal. His lawyer said that he's always available on video conferencing, but there is no plan of personally coming before the banks and settling this proposal with the banks. Now, it remains to be seen on April 7th what the bank stance from bank consortium of banks would be. Whether they accept the proposal or not, it would be depending on the next date of hearing.
Thanks for that, Arun. And Krishna, it's over to you now. You're at the SBI headquarters in Mumbai, the largest lender in this consortium. What's the sense that you're getting at this point with respect to how they will react to this offer?
Chandra, 1,650 crore rupees. That's State Bank of India's exposure to Kingfisher Airlines. Add to that, IDBI and PNB were part of this consortium of 800 crore rupees each between IDBI and PNB. And these banks are right now in wait and watch mode. So as of now, mum is the word coming in from the bank's end. The ball is in their court with Vijay Mallya making that offer. Keep in mind the kind of things that will play on the bank's mind are the timeline for the repayment and the mode of repayment. All of these are the crucial factors that will help decide banks whether they want to take up this offer or not. Yes, Vijay Mallya said September 16th is the time by which he will be paying 4,000 crore rupees. But banks are currently evaluating the timeline and that mode of repayment that I'm telling you about. Also, keep in mind, as far as banks are concerned, where does Mallya going to source these monies from to pay the 4,000 crore rupees is of no concern to them. Banks will decide as to how they'll apportion the receipts that they get from Mallya. But for now, they are studying the proposal. Only State Bank of India has come out with an official statement saying that they are right now they're studying the offer made by Vijay Mallya, and that it's a little too early to comment. So right now, banks are digesting this offer made by Vijay Mallya. Also, as Arun was mentioning, more importantly, that video conferencing angle to the whole thing, that Vijay Mallya is not going to be physically present with the banks to discuss is one thing, and whether banks will be okay negotiating with Vijay Mallya via video conferencing is another thing. So banks are saying essentially will have to take a call on two things. One, whether they want to take up this offer or not, and second of all, whether they're willing to negotiate with Vijay Mallya via video conferencing. So as of now, banks are evaluating it. It's a little too early for them to comment. That's the word coming in. Only State Bank of India has put out their official statement. So for now, mom is the word coming in, and the ball, however, is clearly as far in the banks' consortium's court. Back to you, Chandra.
Right. Thanks for that, Krishna. Banks clearly in a wait and watch mode for now. But Utkarsh, coming to you next, I think the key question today is, what is the source of 4,000 crore rupees? Where is he going to cough this up from? I mean, I know the submissions were made in a sealed envelope, but I know you have exclusive details of how Mallya plans to go about this. So give us details on, how he's going to secure funds.
So Vijay Malia has said that he'll be paying somewhere around 4,000 crores to the banks, but where will the money come from and what's the exact repayment plan? Now we'll give you exclusive details about that. The money will be coming from the stake sale of UBHL as well as Kingfisher Finvest into USL and UB. First, talking about United Breweries, at this point of time, UBHL holds somewhere around 11.46% stake into United Breweries. If you look at the current market price, the price is somewhere around 2,500 crore rupees. Now talking about USL. In USL, UBHL has a stake of somewhere around 3%, and Kingfisher Finvest, which is a 100% subsidiary of UBHL, has a stake of 1%. If you add all of that up in the current market price, the number will come to 1,500 crore rupees. So this is the whole plan at this point of time. Selling stake into both these companies of UBHL and Kingfisher Finvest, this will come to 4,000 crore rupees, but that will only happen once the banks give a go-ahead, and after that they have to hurry up the whole process to make sure that they're able to pay the money by September 2016.
Thanks for those details, Utkarsh. But over to Vijay Iyer next, who's been tracking developments at the Enforcement Directorate, which has asked Mallya to make an appearance on April 2nd. Big question, will he, won't he? Will he again use the video conferencing angle here? Vijay, what details do you have at this point?
Absolutely. After what has transpired today in the Supreme Court, it is highly unlikely that Vijay Mallya will meet the deadline with ED here in Mumbai that on the coming Saturday, that is April 2nd. ED sources have also confirmed now it's highly unlikely that Vijay Mallya will turn up, particularly after his counsel's the communication that they gave to the Supreme Court saying he will not be coming to India anytime soon, and he will be available over the video conferencing if at all necessary for any discussion with the bankers. But having said that, ED says it will stick to its procedures, it will stick to its rules and regulation. Assuming Vijay Mallya doesn't turn up on Saturday, April 2nd, they will issue the third summons as per the regulations, wait for one more week, and failing of any communication from Vijay Mallya, they will move the PMLA court for issuing the non-bailable warrant. So clearly after the three summons, they will, as per the procedures, go ahead and ask for a non-bailable warrant against Vijay Mallya. As we speak, ED has not received any communication from Mallya or his legal team about whether he is attending April 2nd's summons for questioning or not, or he is not either sought any more time or any other convenient date. So clearly ED for now is sticking to the regulations, will wait till Saturday, issue the third summons, and if required, going ahead next week, will move the PMLA court for issuing the non-bailable warrant in absence of any communication from Vijay Mallya till now.
Thanks so much for all those details, all of you, Arun, Utkarsh, Krishna, Vijay. We will, of course, look forward to more updates. On this note, we will be taking a break, but don't go anywhere, because on the other side of the break, we have two big voices to really dissect the developments and also tell you about what to expect going forward. We have Deepak Narang, former Executive Director of United Bank of India, one of the first bankers to actually call Mallya a willful defaulter. And we also have a corporate voice in Mohandas Pai from Manipal Global on what he thinks about this development and the precedent that it sets for India Inc. Welcome back to our special show, Mallya Makes an Offer. And as promised, we have two special guests joining us on this show. Deepak Narang, the former Executive Director of United Bank of India, and Mohandas Pai, Chairman of Manipal Global. Thank you both for joining us on the show. Mr. Narang, to you first. You know, you were one of the first bankers to actually call out Vijay Mallya as a willful defaulter. As someone who did that, what do you make of the proposal that Mallya made at the Supreme Court today?
So it's really good that at least he has come forward to pay 4,000 crore or whatever he has said. But then banks have to be really cautious about it. If he is, as a visible defaulter, he is paying 50% of that amount, that may send a wrong precedent for other defaulters. And they may be looking at it and it should not be allowed to go at such a cost, such a price of 50% discount. Really bankers should press more and get at least the cost of funds which are involved. After all, banks have to pay interest to the depositor. So getting 4,000 is, I don't think is a good sum. We should increase more, put pressure more and do due diligence and see how much money he has got, how much assets he has got, and take a call on that. After all, why all of a sudden he has come to pay when he ran away from that country and he did pay 6 crore to United Bank and all of a sudden he's paying 4,000 crore. So we will look into all the reasons, dispassionately arrive at commercial decision. Banks have to take a, really a commercial call. How much money getting now, how much money supposing we get after 2, 3, 4 years after litigation. So it's a commercial decision which banks have to take.
Right, Mr. Narang is a little skeptical there, but Mr. Pai, coming to you, would you say that, this is just an attempt to perhaps buy more time, considering the pressure he's been under? I mean, right at the level of the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, intense media scrutiny. I mean, how genuine is this offer that he's made today?
No, I think it's a very genuine offer because he's made it to the Supreme Court. And you must remember what Supreme Court did to Subrata Roy, right? They put him in jail and then let him out almost like as if he's a hostage. So I think Vijay Mallya has done the right thing by going to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court were to decide that maybe 4,000 crores, 5,000 crores will be okay to settle, then the banks also don't have to answer the CVC, the CBI, and all kind of investigating agencies. The government will not have to answer. The government will not have to answer Parliament. And there will not be many people because it will go through the court, it will be a court settlement. So I think it's brilliant. It's a very brilliant move by Vijay Malia, brilliant move by the banks, and I think it goes through everybody else. So I think it's perfectly okay because they get the cover of the court.
Mr. Pai seems to think it's a brilliant move, but Mr. Narang, if you were part of the lenders consortium today, which I'm sure you're glad you're not, what would you do in the in the 1 week time that you have before responding to the Supreme Court?
I would really look at things in totality. So we must look into the source from where from he is bringing money. If the money is the same which we lend and he diverted outside and now with the same money he is paying us, we should be cautious about it. What about the criminal cases which are filed against him? What about the other cases? If we supposing settle down unsecured creditors, employees may create a legal hurdles and they have a right to go to court and press for their demand, their money also. So it will get embroiled into a lot of controversy, lot of legal cases. So we need to really look at this issue in totality, not just he paying 4,000 out of 9,000 crore.
Mr. Pai, you said it's a brilliant move. Mr. Narang is a little skeptical and cautious. But Mr. Pai, tell me, how fair is it for banks? I mean, this is like telling them you either take a 50% haircut or just go bald. I mean, how many of, members of the middle class who pay EMIs every month get such options? So why should Malia get so much of benefit?
Banks, when they deal with money, have to understand the time value of money. It's better to get 4,000 crores now than try to fight for 10 years and get 6,000 crores after 10 years. The interest cost on 4,000 crores for the next 2 or 3 years at 10% will be 1,200 crores. So I think the banks have to make a deal, and that's the way to do it. When you lost money, when the business has gone down, you salvage as much as possible, get whatever it is, write off and get on with your lives. So instead of 4,000, you may pay 5,000. We don't know. We must see the offer. And I think it's very important to settle early, get the money, clean up the books and go along. The banks have got many other people to go after who may not even have so much assets as Malia. And for Malia, if it goes to the court, I think it'll be clean of everything. Nobody can point a finger.
Mr. Narang, do you agree here that banks now really don't have a choice, considering, the way the auction of KFA House in Mumbai went? It completely fizzled out. The Kingfisher brand has been devalued considerably. So would you agree with Mr. Pai that, banks perhaps need to cut their losses at this point, that they really don't have a choice?
No, I would say that, why then, look at simple question, why is paying 4,000 crore? If he cannot pay, if he has run away without paying any money, why he ran away from the country and now he's paying 4,000 crore under pressure of Supreme Court? Now PM is also seized of that issue. It's a pressure which is working, and others which will defaulter will get a lesson from it. So it will set a precedent. Now, if after he pays 4,000 and goes scot-free, whether he is going to leverage his licenses to fly within India or do some tie-up with Qatar Airways or some other airways to give them, access to Indian market. So look at things dispassionately, commercial call, and decide. The only thing is that it should not be the same money which we lent is coming back, and he has, first transferred it outside. What about the criminal cases? We must do a forensic audit first and find out what happened to the money which we lent. If supposing loss was only 2,000 crore and we lent him 6,000, 7,000, what happened to the 5,000 crore? So that is what we should look at.
Mr. Pai, address that fear coming from the bankers right away that this is perhaps money that's been diverted, that's being brought back in a different form. What would you say to that?
Look, let me say this. Mallya till this debacle happens in Kingfisher was a very respectable business person, right? There was no charge against him of any diversion, anything like that all these years. He's been in India for so long. He has created a great empire in United States, United Breweries, which is world class. He's done so much of good work, right? He's built a business empire. He lost in Kingfisher. Kingfisher was a good product, but the management was lousy. He lost. Now you would want to accuse him of diverting money, taking money outside without any data, without any proof. I don't think it's correct. I don't think there's any evidence to say that he's diverted money or used it elsewhere. He would have taken money in his company and given to Kingfisher, and Kingfisher has lost the money. The Kingfisher accounts are fairly clear. So I think, we should not go into uncharted territories unless you have data. If there's data, then it's fine. If you don't have data, then I think, you must let things be and try to settle the account and complete it, and that's much more important than going on a witch hunt. You can't go on a witch hunt against everybody in this country. I mean, the banks know who have taken the money out. There are many people whose accounts are sick, and I think the banks can easily find out who have taken the money out, and money would have been taken out by over-invoicing for capital goods, where they bought from all kind of unknown people and they bought from different places, and the people who do not have equity. If you look at the top 10 borrowers, you can make sure you can find out who had equity and who did not have equity. Mallya doesn't belong to that class.
My final questions to both of you. I want to start with you, Mr. Narang. Considering all that we've discussed, what kind of precedent is this going to set? Are we going to see other corporates with heavy debt piles coming up with similar proposals, 50% haircut, 25% haircut?
No, it will depend on case to case. It's not that thumb rule that 50% will set. Yes, it would set a precedent, and others would also like to bargain with the bank. Bank should be in a bargaining position. Bank should dictate that we will want not less than certain amount, and including the cost of deposit which is there. It's not that he should dictate that I will pay you 4,000. So that's why bank should do their homework well, see how much assets he has got, how much they can lay their hands on, what are the personal guarantees, what are the assets, how much is the time taken to recover from those assets. So for each case, it will be a different story. But for this case, willful default is something, the tag which has been attached to Vijay Mallya would hurt him, and we should capitalize on that.
Mr. Pai, the same question to you as well. In terms of the precedent that this sets for India Inc., I mean, what about companies that pay, loans on time, that pay interest amounts on time? What about, honest tax-paying citizens? What kind of precedent does this set that Mallya is getting a different deal, a more favorable deal?
I think it doesn't set a wrong precedent, set the right precedent, because it's gone to Supreme Court. And if he says, I'm giving you 4,000 crores, the banks will ask him, show me where the money is going to come. He is going to show the money. And then the banks will tell, our assessment of your total net worth is 6,000 crores. And here are the assets that we got. Please sell all of this and pay us back 6,000 crores. So it will be very transparent. and if somebody is pulling a fast one, the court will see it through and pass an order that pays 6,000 crores. So, it is not easy to fiddle with the Supreme Court. Please remember, the Supreme Court takes it up itself to hear and pass an order, you're doomed. There's no more appeals. It's all over. So, you can't play the fool Supreme Court. And most settlements are bargains between what they can afford to pay and what it is. And banks can easily assess whether it will actually happen, it will not happen, how much more money they got. They can do that. I think let's trust the banks.
Mr. Narang and Mr. Pai, thank you so much for joining us on this special show today. We got a fairly balanced view there, but we will know in a week's time if Malya's offer is one that banks cannot refuse. Thank you so much for watching this show and keep it with ET Now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.